Hey, I'm Randy with R&R Woodworking. Today, we're going to build a toy box. You get to watch me build it. Stick around to the end. I want to tell you two things that you need to look out for when you give a toy box to a child. It could be very dangerous. Let's get to the build. Long ago, before toy stores and birthday wrapping paper, toys were scattered across every corner of childhood. Dolls slept under kitchen tables, carved horses galloped through gardens, and marbles rolled under the beds, never to be seen again. Mothers swept their floors with sighs, fathers stepped on wooden blocks in the dark, and every child swore, "I'll pick them up tomorrow." But one small boy changed all of that. In the village of Pine Hollow lived a curious boy named Eli Tanner. He wasn't rich, but he was clever. His father was a carpenter, his mother a seamstress, and between sawdust and spools of thread, Eli grew up building and fixing everything he could find. His favorite thing in all the world was his collection of toys, a jumble of witted animals, a spinning top, a broken drum, and a small wooden knight missing one arm. Each one was precious, but Eli was terrible at keeping them together. Every evening his mother would ask, "Eli, where's your knight?" "Under the porch, I think." "And your drum?" "Somewhere in the barn." One rainy morning, his father stepped squarely on a carved ox Eli had left near the hearth. With a crack, the ox's legs snapped, and his father's temper followed. "That's enough. You'll ruin your toys or my feet," he barked. "If you can build so many things, why can't you build a way to keep them in one place?" The words struck Eli like a hammer. That night, Eli couldn't sleep. Rain drummed softly on the roof as he stared at his scattered toys. "A way to keep them in one place," he whispered. He thought of shelves, too open. Baskets, too small. Then, as a lightning flashed through his window, he saw it. A box big enough for all his toys, with a lid to keep out dust and rain. It would be like a tiny house just for his treasures. He jumped out of bed, pulled on his boots, and ran to his father's workshop. The workshop smelled of pine and oil. Eli lit a candle and started searching through the scraps. Planks too short for tables, hinges too bent for doors, nails saved in a rusty tin. He worked all night. First came the frame, then the sides. He measured carefully, just big enough to fit under his bed, but wide enough to hold his toys. For the lid, he used a piece of oak, smooth and sturdy. And when he hammered in the last nail, he carved a small star on the top, a promise that his toys would never be lost again. As dawn broke, Eli stood back, smiling. It wasn't perfect. The corners leaned, the hinges squeaked, but it was his. With his parents awoke, they found him fast asleep on the floor, head resting on the box. His toys were tucked neatly inside. Eli's father ran a calloused hand along the lid and chuckled. "You did this yourself?" Eli rubbed his eyes. "Now I can find my toys and your feet will be safe." His father laughed. "Then maybe we should make more of these boxes for every family with children." And that's exactly what they did. Soon, the Tanner workshop was busier than ever. Eli's father cut the wood, his mother's painted the lids, and Eli carved the little designs. Stars, moons, animals, even initials for each child in the village. They called them treasure chests for toys. Every family wanted one. Mothers loved the clean rooms, fathers loved the unbruised feet, and children loved the secret feeling of lifting the lid to reveal their tiny kingdom inside. The world, though it didn't know it yet, had met the first toy box. News of the boxes spread beyond Pine Hollow. A merchant traveling through town saw one in the Tanner shop and bought it on the spot. "I'll take 3," he said, "and sell them in the city." Soon the boxes appeared in markets from hill towns to seaside ports. People began calling them toy chests, and some even added locks, wheels, or brass corners. But Eli wasn't chasing fame. He was busy improving his design, adding small dividers, secret compartments, and even a false bottom where he hid his marbles from his little sister. Years later, as Eli grew older, the Tanner family moved to a bigger house. In the rush, his first toy box, the crooked one with the carved star, was left behind in the dusty attic of their old home. For decades, it sat there, gathering cobwebs and stories. Mice nibbled at the corners, and rain tapped softly on the roof. Inside, a single wooden knight still stood guard, missing one arm, but still brave. One day, long after Eli had become a carpenter himself, a young girl named Lila moved into the same house. Exploring the attic, she found the box beneath a sheet. When she opened it, dust danced in the sunlight like little stars. Inside were old toys, still waiting, still patient. She ran downstairs shouting, "Mama, look what I found." Her mother smiled. "That's an old toy box, dear. Someone once built it with love." Lila began to fill it with her own toys, rag dolls, painted marbles, and small tin soldiers. Each night before bed, she whispered, "Good night, toys," and gently closed the lid, just as Eli once had. And so the box lived again. By the time Eli Tanner was an old man, his boxes were found in homes across the country. Children no longer lost their toys under beds or buried in the yard. Toy boxes became part of growing up, part of every child's world. But Eli never patented his design or claimed the invention as his own. He would just smile and say, "I built the first one for peace and quiet and maybe a little magic." His workshop was filled with sawdust and laughter until the day he passed, leaving behind one final toy box carved with these words: "To every child who builds, dreams, and keeps their treasures safe, remember, order makes room for imagination." When the townsfolk found that inscription, they said it was the truest thing he'd ever made. Today, toy boxes come in all shapes and sizes. Plastic ones, shaped like castles, wooden ones with cushioned lids, even ones that sing when you open them. But somewhere, deep in the heart of every toy box, there's a little piece of Eli Tanner's dreams. A promise that toys and children who love them will always have a home. And if you ever find an old wooden chest with a star carved on top, listen closely when you lift the lid. You may just hear the faint creak of hinges and the echo of a boy's laughter still playing after all these years. The moral of this story is the best inventions don't come from wanting fame or money. They come from love, need, and a little imagination. Just like Eli's toy box, every great idea begins with someone trying to make the world a little tidier, a little kinder, and a lot more fun.
Wasn't that bad, was it? All in, you're probably $40, $55, depends on what kind of hinges you use on this, which I was gonna show you. This thing right here, this lid is not mounted yet. You're gonna come in and put some standard hinges on it, but you need to put soft close hinges. That is number one where it gets dangerous, number one. Soft close hinges, because if a little kid is opening this up and down, you don't want this slamming on their hand. It's a pretty heavy lid. Yes, it can still pinch it over here. That's why I use soft close hinges. I'll put a link in the description of the ones that I like, the ones I use on Amazon. They're the most cost effective and seem to be a pretty good hinge. Now I told you it'd be two things. The second thing that's dangerous about a toy box. This toy box, if you don't put any kind of thing on it, any kind of hole in it, it could become a suffocation hazard. So that's why we cut these in here. Some people drill holes in the side, drill holes in the back. Anything's fine as long as there's some room to get air in here. So I always come in, drop down about 2 inches, cut that out. It serves two purposes. If they're in the front and the soft close fails, guess what? It won't land on their hands. Most of them are gonna walk to the front and pick it up this way. That keeps them pinching in, also keeps them possibly being a suffocating hazard. So, if you want to build your toy box, get out there, think about it. Christmas is coming up. This will be a perfect gift. You can probably make it look like this if you got a laser. You can stain it, make it look like this. You can do anything you want to with this. Put their name on the top of it. I got a picture of that there too. You could do numerous things to personalize this for a gift. Not a whole lot of build, not a whole lot of tools. Get out there in the shop and make something good. Hey, I hope you like what you saw. If you did, like and subscribe. Hit that bell. let you know every time we upload something. We're still trying to get this channel off the ground and maybe do something special with it. Once again, thank you for watching, and may God bless you.